I wouldn't have a go at Varane and clown on him as Flex did earlier to Van Dijk.
Why are you talking to me about other players? Talk to me about me and what I say, not about what next players are saying. I don't want to hear what Nicky Butt and Gary Neville and all them man have to say.
Welcome to Fan Clash, the ultimate fan debate. This Sunday, Manchester United travel to Anfield to face off against Liverpool in the Premier League. Representing Manchester United, we have Queen Mean herself, Mina. Representing Liverpool, we have the COP TV's AGT. The first question is, which is the bigger club, Manchester United or Liverpool?
I'm gonna let you take the charge.
I like the question, but if the question was who's the most successful club, Liverpool, Manchester United, it's Liverpool. So if you want the big club, then that's
the question
fine.
Is the bigger club.
Do you want to take that one?
United are the bigger club. I don't think
if that's what you say, then cool. I'm happy being the most successful. But if you're the biggest, I'll take that.
But if you were to base it even on the last 30 years, who's the more bigger and successful club?
Again,
because I'm sure the trophies you're counting is probably from before you and I were born.
No, major honours now. It's
major honours.
Major.
But who's the bigger
club?
club?
And you're 2 behind us.
2. That's only 2.
Well, it's still 2, isn't it?
But we're still the bigger club,
okay.
Even with or without trophies.
Do you know what? I'll give you that one.
Huh?
I'll give you that one.
You don't have to give it to me because it's the facts.
It's the facts. Most successful, the facts, biggest,
it's the facts.
Facts.
But in the last 30 years, who's the more successful team?
It depends in which way you look at it.
Because you're going off of trophies.
In terms of Europe,
success
definitely
is
Liverpool.
Trophies.
In terms of Europe, Liverpool domestically, it's 100% Manchester
In the last
United.
30 years?
Yeah.
How many Champions League have you won?
3.
Okay, cool. I might have to give you that. Have you ever done the treble?
No, but we've done a quintuple before in 2001. Have we won 3 trophies in a season before?
No, but have you won the Champions League, the Premier League and the FA Cup?
No.
Have you won the Champions League and the Premier League in the same season?
No, in the same calendar year, yes, but no.
Calendar year don't count, I'm talking about in a season. Because if we want to go on calendar years, then I can do that too.
Okay.
We'll talk about seasons. We'll talk about seasons here.
Yeah, no, I haven't, that's the answer.
In the last 20 years, do you say that you guys are more successful than United?
Well, the last 10 years you have had no success.
I can give you that.
So if you want to put it 10 years before that, then I'd say you. But for the last 10 years, it's definitely been Liverpool, 100%.
So we agree that United's the bigger club, though? Because you're not even putting up a fight. I was
hoping
that you put up a fight.
But I'm happy to give you that one.
You're happy to give it. You're happy to give it that.
Because I'd rather be successful than big. But if that's not what you're on, then
no. But don't you think being the bigger club sometimes equals success?
Not this time, obviously. Not in this. As we've just established, yeah. All
right, then cool. I'll take that. Bigger club, I'm cool with that. There's no fight
Have
here.
it.
Nah, it's cool. I'll take it. No biggie.
Who will end the season with more goals, Marcus Rashford or Mohamed Salah?
Well, if it is Rashford, and I think it will be, because he is the best player in Europe right now, if it is him, then that would be the first time he's done so in the last 6 years over Salah. Salah, with his goal against Wolves the other night, has now scored 20 plus in all comps for the last 6 years. So if you're looking for consistency, then Salah's your boy.
But that's not the question.
But if you're looking for right now, who will score more goals this season, I think Salah's on 21, Rashford's on 24. 25, so there's only a few goals in it, but I'll give it to Rashford this season. However, consistency, it's obviously Salah. Flex said it as well, so.
Yeah, consistency for sure, I agree, but in terms of this season, one thing I think Salah's got similar weight on his shoulders to Rashford is carrying the goals for the team.
We spread it out a little bit. Darwin's got 15 now.
That's over the last coming months, because when I remember the first 3 months of the season, it was predominantly Salah scoring for you guys.
Darwin's got a few. Obviously, the boy Jota's got a few as well. Firmino scored 8 goals before we went to the World Cup. So we spread ours out. Whereas I feel like if Rashford was to get injured, and I'm not saying I want that to happen, but if he was, I genuinely wouldn't know where your goals are coming from.
It'll come from Bruno, Anthony. Obviously, not in the same capacity.
Double figures this season?
Not in the same capacity as Darwin Núñez, for example, because he's playing in that forward line. Yeah. He's a striker, so he's playing in that forward line. But in terms of, I think you're right, consistency, Salah scores consistently every season, and I do feel like this season people have been a bit harsh on him, because I know he's in like the top 6 in Europe in goals and assists. I think it's pretty much Haaland, Mbappe, Messi, Rashford, Salah.
But then again, he's a victim of his own success. If you score 44 in one season and then the next year you get 22, so it's not that good. But it is very good. But because his level is so high, maybe people would say this has been a slightly disappointing season for him. But again, I think
the ceiling for both players, I think, is different. I think it's both different. I think Rashford, people are waiting for consistency. So this is his... Well, to be honest, aside from last year, the 2 seasons before that, he hit the 30-plus goals and assist tally, similar to this season. So when people talk about consistency...
But you know what I mean,
if you take out last season...
He was getting sold last year.
Yeah, he was getting sold at the end
United
of the
fans were saying, get him out.
That's everybody. That's everyone across the
Even
starting
Neville
11.
said he's got to go.
We don't listen to him.
Do you not?
I don't listen to Neville. I don't listen to Neville just because of how he interrogated Ten Hag. But that's a different topic for another time. But in terms of consistency, Marcus Rashford, bar the last season where United were just
2 or 3
broken,
seasons, I'd say.
The 2 seasons under the 2 seasons in COVID, he had 30+ goals and assists.
I think we need to get the numbers to check that
trust
one.
me, trust me,
Yeah?
trust me. You lot trust me.
I don't know
they
if I trust
me.
you on that
they
one.
Trust
They
me.
might, but
they'll trust
they're not here. I'm here.
They'll trust
I'm looking at you in the face.
He had 30+. I'm talking goals and assists combined.
But you can agree with me when I say that last year was the worst year of his career
but
easily.
We can't talk about last year because last year was the worst season for a lot of Man United players, but it was out of their... I think a lot of it was like a domino effect, issues in the club, manager halfway through the season, all of that stuff. So for me, it's a clean slate. For me, it's a clean slate.
Do you know what? Salah normally bags a lot in the last couple of months because it's the business end.
And plus, he's got the Christmas curse that he's coming.
What's the Christmas curse?
The Christmas curse that he has. Everyone knows what it is.
What, the tree?
The curse of
he's
the
Muslim.
It's the curse of the Christmas.
The blue Christmas tree as a Muslim, yeah.
As a Liverpool player, he's got a blue Christmas tree.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if we're talking about this season, again, it will be close. I know Rashford has been unbelievable this season, but you know as well, like that's going to come down to a goal or 2 in it. So you could go either way, but because this is kind of Rashford's standout year, then I'll give it to Rashford.
Again, he's not going to fight it, so
no,
I'll take it.
But I'm not like these other Liverpool fans that you might see. I'm a football man, you know what I mean?
I respect it. Would you take Rashford over Gakpo? Or is that a different question?
That's a question. That's not even a valid one there. No, listen, long term, Gakpo, I've got a lot of confidence in him. I mean, Flex was crying about him when he came to Liverpool. So
in my defence, I said I didn't want him at United because I didn't think he would serve
when we were in
front
Qatar,
line.
Flex was going, "Have you seen these goals that he scored? We're getting him as well, look. How many? He's got loads of goals this season."
Flex is a disgrace.
She said it, not me, mate.
Flex is good people. Yeah, I never said that.
Disgrace, she said. Let's get that clipped up.
Who will win the Premier League next? Erik ten Hag or Jurgen Klopp?
It's a good question. Through gritted teeth, I should admit that I just didn't think that this turnaround or this transition would have happened this quickly for you. Because 6 months ago, if someone said, "Can United win the league?" genuinely, including yourself, you would have laughed them off, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So the work that you've done, again, I have to give credit to, but I just think Klopp's been there and done it. And I think the points tallies that he's accrued, you have to really give him a lot of respect in terms of Premier League. Obviously, we would have liked to have won 2 or 3 more. But I think the points that he's tallied up, Ten Hag's got a long way to go to reach that. However, it depends on Liverpool's summer. We've got a big summer ahead of us. I said it earlier, it's the most important summer for getting players in and out, really. So if we do what I think we can do in the summer and make sure everything's ready for the next 2 or 3 years, then I would say Liverpool. Only because Ten Hag, he still hasn't had 1 full season in the Premier League yet. And I think, even though he gets my respect now, I think, Klopp's been there and done it. So I'd say Liverpool.
I agree with the part about Klopp's been there, done it. He's got the players. Obviously, he's got Salah on a long-term deal.
Yeah.
Van Dijk, Alisson. He himself is on a long-term deal. But seeing what Ten Hag has been able to do with this team, even though I'm not going to say it's minimal resources, because he's been able to bring in a centre-back that he wants. He's been able to bring in the winger that he wants. He's been able to bring in
a lot of money.
A DM. It don't matter about the price because
well, it does, because you're in debt.
70 million on
you're
Casemiro.
In billions of debt.
70 million on Casemiro to me that's worth every penny. 50 million.
Now you're saying that, but at the time,
even I was
really?
saying that. I was saying that because of the
Nicky
caliber.
Butt, your own legend, said he's past it. He's over the hill.
Why are you talking to me about other players? Talk to me about me and what I say, not about what next players are saying.
Tell
I
me
don't want to hear what Nicky Butt and Gary Neville and all them man have to say.
You're
but
legends.
I'm saying about in terms of my opinion, I think when Casemiro came in, 70 million, he was worth that price tag, the experience that he was bringing, and even now you see the quality that he brings. If I think a lot of Ten Hag winning the Premier League, I think it's in the capacity of the next 3 to 5 years.
I don't think.
But the way that we've overachieved this season makes me a bit optimistic that we could do it in less than 5 years.
But it's interesting you say overachieved,
because it's not this season that we're having, and I think
where should you be if this is too good for you?
No. It's not too good for me, because for me, what I want is the top of the top, like Marcel says, the creme de la creme.
So that would be overachieving for you if you won that.
No, you let me finish.
You said it though. You said the word overachieving. This season has been an overachievement, because coming into the season on the back of a 2-1 loss, 4-0 loss to Brentford, nobody would have thought we would be pretty much in that secured top 4 position, have 1 trophy in our belt, knock out Barcelona in the round of 32 in the Europa League, still in the FA Cup, and still somewhat fighting for arguably, I'm not going to say title race, but you say it though.
I'm not going to say it's a title race, but we're kind of in those numbers of the top 3. You know, Arsenal on top of the table comfortably.
So you're not in a title race then?
We are.
If you're happy to say, I could
say we're in a title race, but am I expecting us to win the title? No, but you can be in a title race and not expect to win the title.
If you're in a race, you've got to try and win it though, no?
But the thing is, my argument is that Ten Hag right now is doing what he's doing in 6-7 months. So if I come to you now and I say, you know what, United could win the Premier League in the next 3 years, to me, that's not a wild statement, because what he's been able to achieve in 7 months, God knows what he can do in the next 18. Yeah. But I think a big part of it relies on owners. If we get the new owners in, if the Glazers decide to stay, you know, I know your owners decided they don't want to sell anymore. I hope they don't take inspiration from them. Obviously, they probably saw United on the market and thought, yeah, we can't compete with that. Everybody's too busy trying to buy Manchester United.
But we're still hearing the Glazers might not sell it, so it depends on what you read, doesn't it?
It depends. It's true. It does depend on what you read. But I think Ten Hag could win a Premier League probably before Klopp. But for me, it depends on what happens with the ownership. I think that's a big part, and it goes both ways. I think it's the same for you lot as well. But if you lot go and get a Jude Bellingham in the summer,
which we will, inshallah.
He went to Qatar. He's got new lingo. He's got new lingo. But I think that changes everything. And also, it depends what United do in the summer. Are we going to go get Osimhen? Are we going to go get a Kane? It depends on.
If you get
Kane,
a lot
of ifs and buts.
Yeah, if you get Kane, then because at the minute, what I feel like is the spine's there. You know, you've got a goalkeeper who's been so loyal to you, amazing shot stopper. Still a lot of mistakes in him, but you have to tip your hat to him and say the clean sheets that he's got is unbelievable. Lisandro and Rafa, then you've got Bruno and Casemiro. The only bit of your spine that's missing is that striker. And if you get a Kane...
And we're missing, I would say, a ball-carrying midfielder. Someone that can partner Casemiro, you know, like a De Jong.
Well, you tried.
Listen, they're not allowed to buy anyone in the summer transfer window, so it could be De Jong 2.0
But what I would say, if United go out and get Harry Kane this summer, again, it pains me to say it, but I do think he could take you to the title.
Do you think he's like the RVP of that?
In terms of, you know, leaving a rival, joining you for 1 or 2 years, winning the league and then getting off again? Potentially. But again, to answer the initial question, I still would say Klopp.
Yeah, I'll go with Ten Hag just because I feel like what he's been able to do in 7 months, to me, it's not a wild opinion to say he could win the Premier League next with, you know, consistent backing. But we'll see.
Time will tell.
Which stadium has the better atmosphere, Old Trafford or Anfield?
I think we both know across the last 4 years, it's been Anfield. It's been really toxic at United. I mean, we came there, beat you 5-0, people were leaving after 40 minutes.
Yeah, but
there's holes in the roof. You know, that can't help the atmosphere.
And you're talking about holes in the roof.
Well, that can't help the atmosphere if it's cold in there.
You're talking about holes in the roof.
Trafford, cold Trafford. Listen, if we're both being honest, I think it's only this season, after a few good results, that you know,
I think even under the Oli era, I think United had a good atmosphere. I think
not when you were losing every week.
No. Firstly, under Oli, I wouldn't say we lost every week, but even in
every other week.
When Jose left, I think it was like December times, and Oli came in. From that era up until the end of that season, the atmosphere was electric. Even the following season, the atmosphere was still loud. Just generally speaking. But one thing I will say is that I watched an interview recently with Alex Ferguson, and he said one of the stadiums he hated going to was Anfield.
This is the thing,
because
right?
you lot are known to, what's that song that you lot are always singing? I don't know what's that
song. You Never Walk Alone?
That one, You Never Walk Alone.
You didn't know that one, no?
Nah, I don't know what, there's no reason for me to know it. I just know it's a song that you guys are always singing, and with just scarves in the air.
We sing it loud.
And then you sit down after the first minute, and that's
Well, listen, this is the thing, like, you can say that. Have you been to Anfield before? Cool. So
never won.
Exactly. So you can't speak from experience. I was there Wednesday night.
I can only speak from
what I've been there every game for the last 2 or 3 years. So what I would say, and again, you might not want to hear this, but ask Ronaldo, ask Ferguson, ask Neville, ask everyone, and they will tell you it is Anfield.
I still think United have the Stretford end. I think is probably unbeatable. Anytime United are shooting,
it's very beatable. We beat you 5-0 there in front of the Stretford.
I don't know how many scored. I don't know how many goals you scored in front of the Stretford end. I might have to go watch that. Go back and watch that.
Second half was 2. Yeah.
That's not confirmed. It could have been 1. Could have been 0. I'm not going to believe what you're saying.
I know, that's cool. You don't have to. I was there, so I'll tell you.
In terms of, I can only speak about the stadiums I've been to. I know you've probably been to Old Trafford. You've probably been to Old Trafford in the away end, in that little corner where the holes are in the roof. I can't say it's applicable to the whole stadium. Probably is.
Just that bit.
It probably is. It probably is. But still, I'll go with United just because I'm biased. But I do know that Liverpool is known for their electric fans.
So is this not because I've not been biased here?
But that's
I've given you some.
I'm being biased. I'm being shameless.
Okay.
I'm being shameless.
If you said
but I just said I will give it to you for that one. Obviously for me it's United, but honestly,
well, you're not giving it to me then.
I'm just indirectly. So
I've given you some.
I'm indirectly giving it to you.
Okay, I'll take that.
Take it or leave it. Take it. That's the best you're gonna get.
Indirectly, so it's us. Yeah. Decided.
Who is the better defender, Raphael Varane or Virgil van Dijk?
I'm gonna go with Varane. But it's not because I'm being biased. But one thing I will say, Van Dijk is a world-class striker. I was about to say striker. He scored quite a few goals, so I could say that. But he is a world-class defender. I think I wouldn't judge him based on this season, just because I feel like it would be unfair, because I've had a difficult season. He had a difficult final against Real Madrid.
He didn't, personally.
Wasn't he the reason why they scored?
It was Trent.
Was it Trent?
Yeah. No,
I'm talking about the final.
Yeah.
Last season?
Yeah. Trent left Valverde at the back post, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, again, I have to credit Varane. What an incredible career. 5 Champions Leagues at Real Madrid. You don't just win them by being a nobody. First of all, you've got to displace all the other centre-backs in that squad, and then you've got to get on with Sergio Ramos to the point where you can actually win. I think in terms of games played in the last 5 years, I'd say Van Dijk's probably played a lot more club football than Varane. I know he's recently retired from France, but when you've won the World Cup, you might as well, because it's not getting any bigger or better than that. So I respect him for doing that, because that tells me he's really investing himself in the next 5 years to prolong his career as much as he can. In terms of consistency though, and the impact that a player has had from when he joined to where the peak was, in my Liverpool life, I don't think there's been any player who's had more of an impact than Van Dijk. So I'll go with him. The Premier League, Champions League, won every trophy. But that's not me saying that. I mean, it's close. It's literally close. So I wouldn't have a go at Varane and clown on him, as Flex did earlier to Van Dijk. Just shows I've got a lot more respect than Flex, really.
He's not a disgrace, guys.
I'm not a disgrace. I'm not a cheat. But no, I'd just about edge it to Van Dijk, but obviously I know you're going to edge it to Varane.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be harsh on Van Dijk, because for me, I think that Premier League, Champions League run you had, he's a big part. He's a very important part of it, even though you could say this, the goal scorers, the Manes and the Salahs, equally as important. But I think in any team, having that defensive spine kind of solidifies the opportunity to build on all the other positions. So for you guys to bring Van Dijk in and for him to have that impact immediately, Raphael Varane didn't do the same, because he came in last season carrying a knock, was in and out of pretty much the starting lineup. Let's not forget, he
had some howlers last season.
He was in and out of the starting lineup, inconsistent football. He nearly lost his spot in the France national team. He even nearly lost his spot, even in the World Cup this season. He wasn't confirmed to be in the starting 11 because of the likes of people like Kanate.
Well, it's just so French.
But I'm not going to base it on that,
because they've got a French centre-backs. It's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. Even right now, they've got 19, 20-year-olds coming up in the ranks who are probably going to be knocking Kanate and them off the starting lineup in the next 4 or 5 years.
Probably.
But in terms of ability, I feel like the technical talents that both of them have is quite different. I feel like they're both quite different centre-backs. But for me, Varane edges it just because the stability that he's brought to Manchester United this season, particularly because I can't really base it on last season because of him being in and out of.
That's why I'm going Van Dijk, because of the consistency thing.
For me, it's but if I could go off consistency at his time at Madrid, then I can be he's been consistent. The only thing is that I feel like he's had it a bit easier because he's been in a great Champions League team in terms of Real Madrid. Like you said, you don't just get into that lineup. In order to stay in that lineup consistently and win 5 Champions League with them is no joke.
I think it's
French
a good point
national,
you make.
He's a French national. Obviously, they've been a lot better in international football than the Netherlands have. I'm not going to sit here and clown and be like, oh, Van Dijk didn't reach his first Netherlands tournament until this season. I'm not going to do that just because I have respect for Van Dijk in terms of the kind of defender that he is. But for me, because of all of those reasons and because of his commitment to retire from international football, just shows that he's committed to the club. I have to say Varane.
I'll go Van Dijk. I just think he's a little bit stronger than Varane in terms of physicality. I think he's probably a bit harder to face one-on-one in terms of if you're a striker running at him. He knows where your weak foot is. He'll go on then, see what you got. I don't know if you remember a couple of seasons ago when we won the league when Sissoko was bearing down on goal for Tottenham at Anfield. Basically a one-on-one, and Van Dijk put him on his left foot and just jockeyed him the whole way as if to say, shoot on your left foot, bro, because you are not coming inside. And it'll think
that's what he gets clowned for this season, though, that whole jockeying thing, because it's cost you guys a few goals.
Listen, this season it hasn't been the same level.
They said
but
it's the Van Dijk aura that scares players away.
Yeah, but if it's been a decent aura to have for 4 years, isn't it? I mean, it's better than this aura in here, isn't it? Smoke everywhere. You know.
What will the score be?
Right, I think
5-0 United. I'm joking.
No, that was what we did to you last year. Don't forget. I reckon this is either a draw or some team nicks it. So I'm saying it could be. I mean, you don't want to see. I don't want to see a 0-0. No one wants to see a 1-0. We want to see a bit of a mini classic here. So I'm going to say 2-2 until the last 15 minutes, and then either you nick it or we nick it, or 0-0.
Stays like that. Yeah. For me, I agree with you in terms of the draw. I think if anyone's going to nick it, it's going to be either team. If it is a draw, I would say 1-1 because I feel like both teams are capable of scoring and also both teams are capable of conceding. So I think it will be 1-1, or if we nick it, it will be 2-1 United. For me, the game's going to be pretty much won in the middle of the pitch. Yeah. I feel like that's going to be the most important parts. I anticipate Weghorst will drop deep quite often to support the 10, whoever's playing in the 10 role. Fred, if he's partnering Casemiro, will be up a lot more. Martinez will be pushed up a little bit more, playing in that little hybrid CDM centre-back role, playing balls from the back. Trent, Rashford, Trent, Garnacho, whoever is attacking Trent, I'm quite confident that they will do a decent job. But for me, like you said, Konate partnering Van Dijk is what worries me more than if it was Van Dijk and Gomez or Van Dijk and Matip, because I think Konate is a top centre-back.
He's the real deal.
I really wanted United to get him before he joined Liverpool. I was really disappointed.
Not the first time I've heard that this season.
Yeah, no, I'll be very honest. I was watching Konate before he joined Liverpool, so he was someone that I was quite optimistic with. Especially like in the World Cup this season, his performance was top when he was called upon, especially against Morocco. I think he probably won that game defensively for France, in my opinion. And I feel like his ability to play in the high line will kind of counter whatever maybe Ten Hag has planned in terms of maybe putting Rashford up top, trying to play balls over the top. Rashford's a quick guy, Garnacho's quick, Anthony's got some pace on him. So it'll be interesting to see. But for me, United, if we win it, we're going to win it from that left-hand side of ours.
Okay, well, we'll see. Good luck.
Yeah, let the best team win. And I think it will be a big fixture for whoever. I think it's a big win.
Yeah, listen, this
whoever
game's
wins
the
it
biggest
is
in English
a
football.
big win. And I think Ten Hag will want to do the double over you guys this season and to win at Anfield.
It's about time.
This is big. They'll give us a trophy for that. I'm joking. Cut that out.
See?
Cut that out.
I want more
Cut
trophies.
Cut it.
Still behind us. No, listen, big up, man.
Big up, man. The most level-headed Liverpool fan, guys. Level-headed.
According to Mina, I didn't say it.